Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I wanted to drop by and give a quick weekend update before our weekly close as we move into the new trading week on Monday. Today I'll be doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin and XRP to follow up on my last video, and I'll also be sharing a quick update of a Gematria decode to kick off our weekend analysis. And as a reminder, the sale on my Mastermind course is live until the end of the month, and I'll be providing more information on that in a moment. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm currently running a sale for my Mastermind course until the end of the month. So for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course with the promo code in the pinned comment below for a discount. My email is in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So we have a quick little decode to go over and then a recap of yesterday's video that I made. And essentially what we're seeing here is that the date of 8/29/2021, which is Sunday, it is giving us that 24. And I'm going to show you the significance behind this with the decode. So we also have, when we add up 8 plus 29 plus 20 plus 21, we're getting the 78, and we're going to see the connection here in a moment. So we have the 24 with the date numerology, and then also adding up the date as such, we get the 78. And where this comes back to is cryptocurrency. So with cryptocurrency, we have that 78 right there, like we got when we added up the date. And then remember the way that we added up before, we got that 24. And using the rules of numerology where you remove the zeros, this 204 becomes a 24 as well. It's a powerful connection here between that 24 and 78, and we're not done. So again, also, I could show you really quickly how if we look at this from a daily perspective, and then I go back to the first day of the year, January 1st, and we move our cursor over, and we can see that today, the 29th, gives us the 240th day, again, coming back to that 24. So when you add up 8 plus 29 plus 2021, we're getting that 78, coming back to cryptocurrency, and then we're also getting the date as such, 8/29/2021, giving us that 24, which comes back to cryptocurrency, and also that 24 coming back to the 240th day. Again, using the rules of numerology, you'd be removing that 0, and you also get the 24. And it is the day Sunday, which is the day of the sun. And also, remember that 78. Sunday gives us that 78. And not only that, Helios, who is the sun, gives us that 24 in the Chaldean cipher. So today is a very powerful day, the 29th of August, and it's in the code, and I wouldn't be surprised if today we see a nice little jump up towards our weekly close. Wouldn't surprise me. Again, always on Sunday nights, we have CME open up, and Chicago Mercantile Exchange typically will fill its gaps really quickly if there is bullish price action over the weekend, and then it will fulfill upside targets, most likely into the stock market opening the following morning. So another quick thing to mention is how we are moving into the 35th week of the year, and I brought this up in my previous video. Again, this all comes back to our zodiac of Virgo, where we have that 35, and I discussed the significance of September 1st in my last video, and it's also really interesting how we're getting that 9/1. Again, the date numerology would be 1/9, the first of the 9th month. And it's interesting, of course, because in actuality, September is the 7th month. For those of you that have never studied the calendar before and are unaware of the Gregorian calendar being a scam calendar, sept equals 7, and septum in Latin equals 7. So it's also really interesting because Virgo giving us that 71, it would be 7/1, September 1st. Amazing how this code works. You can't escape it. We have the 35th week of the year tying back to Virgo. And then I was also discussing how this all ties in to the potential microcycle high that we could be seeing for all of these cryptocurrencies, predominantly Bitcoin though, on the 1st of September. And I wouldn't even be surprised because historically we see that happen. In the previous two bull runs of 2013 and 2017, we got microcycle highs around the 1st of September or the 2nd of September, and then we got a noticeable pullback. It was one of the final pullbacks, the final great buying opportunities that we got for the remainder of a bull run before we had Bitcoin blow off, followed by an alt season. So that's it for the code. We ended on the Helios connection to the 24, again in Chaldean, and the 240th day of the year, not including the end date, and that 24 coming back to cryptocurrency with the 204. Today's date numerology being 24 and 78 added up both ways, coming back to cryptocurrency. So let's go into the analysis. Essentially, we'll start with the Bitcoin weekly close, and we're just going to pay attention to our exponential moving average of the 21, which is our most important moving average when we're in bull runs. And we can see right here that we are high above that 21 EMA. It's sitting around 42,000 at this time. We've seen the 8 simple moving average cross above the 34 EMA on the weekly, looking very good. I suppose this week we will start to see the 8 simple moving average actually cross above the 21 on our weekly close. And then once that moving average gets above these two exponentials, above the 13 and the 21, we will finally see the weekly chart for Bitcoin be in a bullish posture across the board, where all of our key moving averages will be sitting around 42,000. Incredibly bullish. So with any pullbacks, that would be the target area. You just got to focus on the more macro charts at this time. And remember, in my previous video, I was discussing how we had a 5-day closure, a 3-day closure, and a 2-day closure all on Saturday. So let's look at what's going on. So we had our 5-day closure. It looked very nice. We never created a low in the micro, and we actually opened up a pretty nice candle above previous 5-day candles, holding support at this level of around 47,000, 48,000. Beautiful 5-day closure, and we're starting to see that these EMAs are looking amazing, where we have the 8 at the top, the 13 below, the 21 below, and now all we'll see next is this 34 flip the 55. It's incredibly hard to see because these moving averages are so coiled tight around this $42,000 level. And that's why I've been mentioning, if we get any substantial pullbacks, I do not see it going below substantially 40,000. I do not see Bitcoin ever going below 37,000 ever again. So where I see this target pullback is around the low 40,000s area. Let's look at the 3-day close. 3-day close was incredible. We see that we're holding a resistance level around 49,000. That's completely fine. We hit my overall target that I gave out 4 weeks ago of hitting 50K. Now I anticipate by September 1st to at least hit 51K. Maybe we'll go a little higher, but at the end of the day, I'm expecting at least 51K, and I'll break that down in a moment. Now, we've seen multiple weekly closures above this 8 simple moving average on the 3-day chart. We're starting to see a cross of the 13 above the 55. Again, we would love to see that 21 and 34 flip the 55 simple moving average. Then we will have these all in bullish posture. Time will tell. But for the most part, really beautiful to see all of these moving averages sloping to the upside and the 55 simple moving average getting crossed by other exponential moving averages and starting to flatline. Let's move on to the 2-day. 2-day is perfect. So the 2-day has all of our moving averages in order. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a slope up on the 55 simple moving average. Beautiful. And we're also seeing that we've gotten multiple closures above this 8 simple on the 2-day chart. It's looking very nice. Let's go to the daily. The daily is where things are a little bit more interesting. We've seen that this 8 simple we had a closure on yesterday, and that was pretty much indicative of continuation to the upside. But in order to see true continuation, we need to make a new higher high in the microcycle. Now the microcycle is sitting at a high of about 50,500. So until Bitcoin can surpass that, we don't anticipate any upside targets, but we do have downside targets, which would naturally be the 21 exponential moving average. So just remember, this 21 exponential is the typical pullback on the daily chart, and that's sitting around 46,700 at this time. So looking very nice. If we get any pullbacks that are drastic, it would come back to that level. And even wicks down to this 200 simple moving average would be completely normal. And then after that, we would most likely still see a daily closure above that 21. I do not anticipate any noticeable big pullbacks until after the start of September. At this time, I could anticipate us ranging sideways with a peak up to 51K before the end of the month or into the first or second day of the month. Now, at the end of the day, we do see some bearish problems. We do have the bearish divergence on the RSI where we see a downtrending RSI followed by an uptrending price. That's bearish. We also see that the daily MACD is crossed bearish, completely normal. And we're starting to see a little bit of a potential flatlining on the 2-day MACD, but what we could discuss for a quick tick up to the upside before any big corrections, we have our 8-hour MACD definitely looking to eventually flip bullish, and we could see the 6-hour has been flipped bullish. So it will go up in the time frames as we go, as long as we're continually closing 6-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour candles in this higher $40,000 range. Anything above $48,000, it's pretty much indicative of continuation. But again, it is at a weird time. We're on the weekend. The institutions are on the sidelines, and this is retail playing with very small amounts of money, leverage trading, highly speculative investors, and the volume is extremely low. So nothing to really worry about until after our weekly close, which will be coming in Sunday night. And at that time, we will start to see CME bring some volatility into the picture. So let's move on to XRP. And what we're seeing right now with XRP is pretty much the same story as Bitcoin. We are looking at a weekly close that will be high above all of our exponential moving averages. We can see that the 8 simple moving average is starting to flip the 21. That's very strong. I believe that will come into play on the weekly closure. Let's look at the 5-day. 5-day looking amazing. We could see that the 8 is above the 13, 21, 34, 55, and they are all sloping to the upside. The 5-day chart on XRP looks incredible. If we get any noticeable pullbacks, again, I do believe it will be to that 80-cent level, around 85, 86 to 90 cents. Let's move on to the 3-day. 3-day also looking pretty good. That 21 exponential looks like it wants to flip the 55 pretty soon, but for the most part, the fact that they're all sloping to the upside is very nice. And the fact that we've seen 3-day closures maintaining above this 8 simple moving average, that's very nice to see. Let's move on to the 2-day. The 2-day is looking a little bad. With this being said, we can see that the 55 is still sloping to the downside. Again, I would like to see that eventually curve up. That would be indicative of a strong support level around that 90-cent level. But at this time, we're definitely trading sideways. There's definitely a resistance zone around $1.28. Until we start to see closures at that 128 level or higher, we will not be seeing any upside targets. And then at the downside, we would anticipate anything breaking below a daily close of $1.04, $1.05, that would start to head to the downside, and we would look for sub $1 price levels around the 21 on the 2-day. Let's go to the daily chart, and the daily chart's looking actually pretty nice. It's flatlining for the most part. The 8 simple is showing some resistance, which is completely fine. We could still see a tick up. I'm noticing that we did get our bullish cross of the 200 exponential and the 55 simple. That's looking beautiful. I would love to see that flip the 200 simple, because that would put all of our EMAs in a bullish structure. We don't look at this to be bearish until we start to see the closures again below the $1.05 level. And once we start to see daily closures above this 8 simple moving average, which it almost looked like we did 2 days ago, that's where we would start to see reversals. So first level that we would want to surpass is clearly $1.20. And then above that, anything of a daily close above $1.28, reiterating that from the 2-day chart, that's where I would expect to see upside targets. Again, upside target still stays around $1.41, which is the 618 fib or the golden pocket Fibonacci. And we also have a trend line. So let me turn off these moving averages and just show you that trend line really quickly. Again, not a very important thing. Trend lines are okay to use, but I don't really take them too seriously. Now, we do see that it's about 4 or 5 days away from that 1st of September, 2nd September. And I would not anticipate if we don't, I would anticipate we do make new highs, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. At the end of the day, that's for Bitcoin. And what we see with XRP, I'm only considering because of the 9/1 date numerology. Again, let's just really quickly recap that. We have 9/1/2021 giving us that 15, which comes back to XRP in the Chaldean cipher. That's not me saying it'll hit $1.50, but it is in the cards. That would be a really strong rally to finish off this whole moment that we've had of going from 51 cents all the way to $1.50. That would be incredible to see that flip, the as above so below, going from 51 to 150. I'm not saying that will happen, but that's not technically out of the cards. So my analysis tells me that if Bitcoin repeats what it typically does, we should at least see a pump up to around 51K, and that would be indicative of it hitting its golden pocket, and the golden pocket for XRP naturally being around $1.41. Perfect. So that's the analysis for the weekend. Again, anything above that 21 weekly exponential moving average on these coins is great. It's just way higher extended that we typically see because we are in crypto and that's more volatile. And I do anticipate a nice little pump up into the 1st of September. I'll probably be making a video before then, but for now, that's the analysis. Enjoy the rest of your weekend in the Matrix. Much love.